Check out this harvest so far. Oh, these are magnificent.
Guten gardening, everybody. Well, behind me in this 3x6 raised bed, we have our third attempt at growing garlic here at Guten Gardening. Now, the first year we grew some soft neck garlic from store-bought garlic, and we had moderate success. Last year we attempted to replicate that, and we got a big fat 0. We got no garlic yield at all. This year we decided to go to a place with a reputation for good organic seed garlic, and that's Keene Organics, Keene Garlic. And we decided to follow their process as best we could, as closely as we could, for growing garlic, because they've had 20+ years of successful garlic growing and garlic selling. And so we've done exactly that. For our planting process, we followed their recommendations as closely as we could, including fertilization, etc. And when we got to the point where it came time to harvest scapes, we followed their recommendations for how to harvest the scapes, and also for making garlic scape pesto, which I have to tell you, their recipe, absolutely delicious. You can check out our videos on the process for harvesting scapes and creating garlic scape pesto as well. We've got them both linked in the description. Well, now the time has come. It is July 19th, so we're a little bit past mid-July here in Zone 5, Wisconsin, and it should be time for us to harvest our garlic. And I'm going to show you a couple of signs that we're looking for, and again, I'm basing all of this on the information from Keene Organics. We'll put a link to their information, to that website, in the description as well, so you can see we're trying to follow this as closely as possible. I've said that multiple times because I want you to understand we're not garlic growing experts, but we do know how to follow directions. So here are a couple of things that we're looking for to know that our garlic is ready to be harvested. If you didn't harvest the garlic scapes, and we actually have a couple of these garlic plants where we didn't harvest the scapes because we wanted to be able to collect some of the garlic seeds. If you didn't harvest them and you have hardneck garlic, then that garlic scape is going to point directly upward. And that's how you know it's about time to harvest your garlic. That's one way to know. Now, if you did harvest your garlic scapes, one of the things that Keene Organics recommends is that you wait until there are 4 or 5 green leaves left, and the rest of the leaves have died off. And then once you see that, that's about time to harvest your garlic. Now, they do suggest that you can get in there and try harvesting one garlic plant to see where that development is. So you can see some areas you may find are a little bit ahead of other areas. But we're gonna come out here, we're gonna take a look at these plants, and we're gonna get this harvest going. Now, in order for me to explain why they suggest 4 to 5 green leaves left, I have to harvest our first garlic. Let's go ahead and see what we got in here.
I hope you're gonna feel the excitement in the air here. I can't wait to see. I really hope this is a really nice garlic. Now, I'm growing in a raised bed. My soil is incredibly loose and easy to work with. If you're growing in ground, they recommend using a pitchfork to loosen up everything. I don't need to do that. I can just reach down in here. But let's see. I'm going all the way around it. Let's see what we got. I'm going to uncover it piece by piece here. I'm uncovering. Do you see that? That white part? Look at that. Our first bulb. I'm going to reach down in here, and here we go. Pull it right up gently. I don't want to damage the bulb. That's something I know for sure, because if you damage the bulb, you reduce storage time. Oh, yes, sir. All right, zoom out. Look at that garlic. Oh, it's perfect. That has to be, look at the roots on that thing. Oh my.
Are you seeing what I'm seeing here? Look at our garlic. That is phenomenal. I would say that that looks successful to me. Now, here's why they say 4 or 5 leaves. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're gonna pull this one off. Within an hour of harvest, and this is Keene's recommendation, okay? So this is not our expertise, but Keene's recommendation is within an hour of harvest, you peel the lowest leaf. You peel that lowest leaf off, and I'm gonna do it right now. And that's gonna leave us with a good, clean garlic bulb to help reduce any kind of potential disease from the soil. And they suggest if you're in muddy soil that you can go ahead and cut the roots off as well. But you ready to see this? Look at that. Isn't that spectacular? That garlic looks so good to me. And now the next step is to get these ready for curing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take you through and have you watch me harvest these. I know that some of the garlic is not as big. It didn't grow as big as the others because I harvested one of the plants that never really seemed to develop very much. It was just a small clove. It was still edible, but I know I have a good bit that's gonna look something similar to this. And then we're gonna show you how we're going to set this up for curing. That is just amazing. I am so thrilled with this right now. All right, let's get some more of this garlic out of here. If that first bulb is any indicator, we should be in for a really nice harvest. Coming off last year, oh, it's beautiful. Coming off last year where we didn't get any harvest at all. This is making my day. And you know, according to their website, you can get pretty good storage off of these if you take care and you cure properly. And I am going to talk about how and why to cure garlic. Again, all this based on their website. Oh, these are beautiful. But I'm going to talk about all of that in this video as well. Wow, that might be the biggest one so far. It's got to be right up there. Oh, that's phenomenal. Now, I did say there are a couple in here that are not as big, and I'm going to show you those as well. I don't want you to think that every single one of these produced massive cloves, because that's not the case. Although we had about, oh, I don't know, 85%, 90% nearly that came up. All right, let me show you one of the smaller ones. Let's see what it turned into. This plant never really developed with the same ferociousness, but it still died back at the same rate. Well, even so you can see that's definitely smaller. Let's do a little comparison here between one of our bigger plants and one of our small ones. You can see the difference in size here, but that's still a nice little bunch of garlic there. You know what? It is so much fun to have a successful harvest. Oh, look at that. Don't you think so? I mean, getting the payoff, it's like harvesting, oh, this is another one that should be really nice and big. It's like harvesting potatoes when that goes well. It's just something so enjoyable about it. Look at these. Oh, these are phenomenal. By the way, I'm putting the variety that we grew, I'm putting the variety that we got from Keene Organic in the description. All right, let me go ahead and harvest the rest of these, and then let's talk curing. All right, I've gone ahead and harvested all of the garlic in here except for 3 plants, and those 3 plants are the ones that we left the scapes on so that they could go to seed. And I think the allium plants, like your onions, your garlic chives, your garlic here, I think they all look pretty similar in terms of the way that flower comes up. We want to let them go to seed, and we want to see what we can do with the results of that for upcoming seasons. You know, it's fun to experiment around. Now that I can say we've successfully grown garlic, I'm so thrilled with this. Here, let me pull up a couple of these just so you can see what I'm talking about here. Yes, we have some that are smaller. We definitely do. Okay, let me see if I can, they'll look even better here once I've gone ahead and taken off that bottom leaf. Look at that. There's so much garlic. I cannot wait to taste this. Well, I'm gonna have to wait because now I'm gonna show you how they've suggested to cure the garlic. So remember, 4 to 5 leaves that are still nice and green. The rest of the plant has died off. We peel down that bottommost leaf to create a nice clean bulb to try our best to remove the prospects of any kind of soil-borne disease or anything like that getting into our garlic. And again, if we have really muddy soil, they suggest that you can go ahead and cut the roots off. But for me, I'm just going to tap out typically before I go ahead and peel this down, but I'm going to tap off the soil, I should say. And then remembering that each of these leaves represents another layer of protection down here for the garlic, we should have 3 or 4 layers of protection left. And then we're going to come in and we're going to cut off the leaves. So now that I've got these cleaned off, the next step is to cut off the leaves. And their recommendation is somewhere between 6 and 9 inches of height left on the neck. And so what I'm going to do, I'm not going to measure each one. I'm just going to take my hand, which is about 8 inches or so. I'm going to take my hand and use that as my mark to go ahead and cut off the tops. And the reason they suggested doing it at about 6 to 9 inches is they say that they've seen the best storage results from this, the best long-term storage once you've cured them. Now, a couple of our plants died back the whole way. Some of these that didn't develop as far along as we would have liked. And so that means that the storage for these is probably not going to be as long. And so we can just know to expect that. I think that's a piece of it that is something that we'll have to eat up first. And a lot of times I think there are things you grow where you know, well, this thing I've got to eat before this thing, and so that's just the case for some of these. Well, it only took me a couple minutes, but I've got all of these beautiful white bulbs ready to go, and I'm going to cut the rest of the greens off now. And one more thing I've been thinking about, since we don't have a massive amount of garlic that we planted, I want to try to use up the garlic leaves as well. I mean, it's garlic, it's part of the garlic plant, and I know you can eat these, I know you can eat them when they're younger, so I'm gonna see if there are different ways that we can try to prepare these leaves, the ones that are still healthy, the ones that haven't browned up. So if you have any suggestions for how to use the garlic leaves, let us know. For now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take these inside and preserve them in the short term, and I'm gonna be on the lookout for some recipes. All right, I've got all my garlic ready for curing. And they have these bulb crates, and I don't have a bulb crate, but I did get my hands on one of these soda crates, and I think the important thing is airflow. So I think this will work just fine, but you can find bulb crates online. They're just a little bit deeper. Now, they said there are plenty of different ways that people cure garlic, but this is a way that they found that works well, reduces any kind of mold or any other problems that you might have. And so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to stack it in here no deeper than 3 deep. That's one of the things that they definitely recommended, 2 to 3 deep in terms of stacking in this crate. And then we're going to keep it in an area out of the sun for 2 to 3 weeks with fans blowing constantly. And so that keeps a consistent airflow for consistent curing. After that 2 to 3 weeks, we're going to remove the fan so we don't dry out the garlic, and then we should be in really good shape. Now, for Keene Organics purposes, they recommended a temperature between 70 and 75 degrees with a humidity of around 60%. And for us, out of the sun, that sounds the most like our basement, our grow room area of our basement. So that's where I'm going to store this garlic. Now, if you're like me, you're asking, why do you need to cure the garlic? Well, for one, just like curing onions, it gives you a longer shelf life. But two, what we've read is that instead of being as sharp of a flavor, and yes, you can eat your garlic. I got a couple pieces here that were much smaller. There we go. You can eat your garlic as you go, and I'm going to have a piece of it right now. But the flavor, oh man, that is packed with flavor. The flavor after curing becomes less sharp and more complex, and it's also easier to peel and open when the time comes. So there's lots of reasons to cure the garlic after you've harvested it. Well, I am incredibly well pleased with this harvest. I am so excited. I think we can do even better next year. You know, we've got a lot of pieces down. We didn't dedicate too much space to our garlic this year, and it's so simple. Really, the process that we followed from Keene Organics website, the process there was simple. They laid everything out that we might have questions about. And so I'm going to recommend the website. I'm going to recommend them as a place to get your organic seed garlic as well, because I think, you know, the results speak for themselves. And as I said, I'm sure we can improve. This is our first time having this kind of success though, and I am absolutely thrilled. Well, folks, we hope you enjoyed this video. There's just so much information there. But what a help, what an experience, what a great bit of production for us. I'm excited to have this in the months to come. And if there's something that goes wrong in the next couple of weeks, or we're seeing some results that we don't like in terms of curing, we'll certainly let you know. If you have a preferred method for curing, again, let us know. And if you've had some success with your garlic this year, or some failure, some struggle, let us know as well. We'd love to hear about it. Folks, if you did enjoy today's video, don't forget to give us a like, leave us a comment, remember to share and subscribe, and most importantly, remember, when you're with us, you are good to grow.